Welcome to Miss Nightmare YouTube channel. Tonight we delve into the darkest corners of the night where shadows dance and whispers echo with terror. Join me, if you dare, as we explore the chilling tales that unfold beneath the eerie glow of the full moon. 5 stories, each more unsettling than the last, await those brave enough to listen. Prepare yourselves, dear viewers, for once you've stepped into the realm of these full moon horrors, you may never escape their haunting grip. The old clock tower chimed midnight, its mournful toll swallowed by the thick night air. A chill wind swept through Hollow Creek, carrying the scent of damp earth and something feral. Villagers bolted their doors tight, hearts pounding with the rhythmic thump from Blackwood Forest. The full moon hung heavy, casting an ethereal glow. On nights like these, the curse came alive. A woodsman, driven mad by grief, made a pact with a creature of darkness. Bound to the lunar cycle, he transformed into a beast of fury. The legend of the Werewolf Curse haunted Hollow Creek. A blood-curdling howl tore through the night, sending shivers down spines. The werewolf's eyes burned with unholy fire, its teeth bared in a grotesque smile. As dawn pierced the darkness, a deathly silence descended upon Hollow Creek. Villagers, faces etched with fear and exhaustion, cautiously emerged from their homes. Have you heard of the blood moon, dear viewer? A rare celestial event, they say, when the moon in its celestial dance aligns perfectly with the sun and earth, bathing the world in an eerie crimson light. Some cultures whisper of blessings and new beginnings, but here, nestled in the heart of these ancient hills, we know the truth. The blood moon heralds not joy but sorrow, not life but death. It is a harbinger of something evil, something ancient and hungry, something that walks among us unseen, unheard, until the night the blood moon rises. It began, as these stories often do, with a tragedy. A young woman, Alara, they called her, with eyes as blue as the summer sky and hair like spun gold, vanished on the eve of the blood moon. Gone, without a trace, leaving behind nothing but whispers and a heartbroken lover. Some say she ran away, seeking a life beyond the confines of our small village. Others, the braver souls, speak of a darker fate, of a malevolent entity that awakens when the moon bleeds red, claiming souls for its own twisted amusement. Years passed, decades even, and the memory of Alara faded, becoming little more than a cautionary tale whispered to wide-eyed children. But the blood moon, that remained, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of our seemingly peaceful existence. And then, it happened again. Another blood moon, another disappearance. This time, a young man, full of life, vanished without a trace. The villagers, their memories stirred, recalled the legend of Alara, their whispers laced with fear and a growing sense of dread. They say that on the eve of the blood moon, if you listen closely, you can hear her. A mournful wail carried on the wind, a lament that chills the very marrow of your bones. They say it is Alara, forever bound to the entity that claimed her, forced to lure unsuspecting souls to their doom. Some brave souls, armed with nothing but lanterns and hope, ventured into the night, determined to find the missing and break the curse of the blood moon. None returned. The air tonight is thick with it. Can you feel it? That electric hum, that prickling sensation at the back of your neck? That's fear, my friend, pure and primal. The kind that claws its way into your chest, squeezes your lungs, and leaves you gasping for breath. Tonight, we're talking about shadows, the kind that stretch and contort under the pale glow of the full moon, the kind that whispers secrets you were never meant to hear. I remember a night, much like this one, years ago. The full moon hung like a giant silver coin in the inky black sky, casting long, grotesque shadows that danced and writhed like living things. I was young, foolishly brave, convinced that the stories whispered around campfires were nothing more than that. Stories. How wrong I was. We were a group of friends, huddled around a flickering campfire, sharing ghost stories and laughing nervously into the darkness. The air was thick with the smell of wood smoke and something else, something metallic, something ancient and unsettling. One by one, my friends drifted off to their tents, their laughter fading into the stillness of the night. I stayed by the fire, mesmerized by the flames, my mind replaying the stories I'd heard, my heart pounding a steady rhythm against my ribs. That's when I saw it, a flicker of movement in the shadows at the edge of the woods. At first I dismissed it, attributing it to the flickering firelight or my overactive imagination. But the movement persisted, growing bolder, more insistent. I stood, my heart hammering in my chest, my breath catching in my throat. The shadows seemed to deepen, to coalesce, taking on a shape that sent a shiver of primal fear down my spine. It was tall and slender, impossibly so, with long, spindly limbs that seemed to defy the laws of nature. Its eyes, two glowing embers in the darkness, bored into me, filled with a cold, calculating intelligence that made my blood run cold. I tried to speak, to scream, but no sound escaped my lips. They say every town has its secrets, its hidden histories buried deep beneath layers of normalcy. Our town, nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering cornfields, was no different. But there was one secret, one whispered legend, that chilled the very marrow of our bones. The tale of the Midnight Howler. It wasn't a creature of fur and fang, no. This horror was far more insidious, worming its way into your mind, preying on your deepest fears, your most vulnerable moments. It always began the same way, a low, mournful howl that echoed through the dead of night, a sound that seemed to seep from the very walls, vibrating in your chest. Some dismissed it as the wind whistling through the old oak trees that lined the outskirts of town, or the lonely cry of a stray dog. But those who had heard it, truly heard it, knew better. They knew that the howl was no animal, but something far more ancient, far more malevolent. The howl, you see, was only the beginning. It was a siren song, a lure, drawing you in, stripping away your defenses, leaving you vulnerable to the horrors that awaited. The elders whispered of a being, a creature of pure darkness that fed on fear, on despair, on the very essence of what made us human. It couldn't be seen, not in the traditional sense, but it was always there, lurking just beyond the veil of perception, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. Those who heard the howl, those who were unfortunate enough to be chosen, would experience nightmares so vivid, so terrifying, that they would wake up screaming, their sheets soaked in sweat, their hearts pounding against their ribs like trapped birds. The nightmares were always the same, a suffocating darkness, a feeling of being watched, of being hunted, and then the howl, echoing in their ears, growing louder, closer, until it consumed them entirely. But the nightmares were just the beginning. The creature, you see, was insidious, its influence seeping into their waking hours, poisoning their thoughts, twisting their perceptions. They would see things in the shadows, hear whispers in the silence, feel a cold, unseen presence brushing against their skin. Their world would shrink, consumed by paranoia and fear, until they were nothing more than empty shells, driven mad by the relentless torment. And nestled deep within a forgotten forest, shrouded in mist and shadow, lay Lunar Lake. Locals spoke of the lake in hushed whispers, their voices laced with fear and superstition. They said it was a place of strange power, a place where the veil between our world and the next wore thin, especially under the spectral glow of the full moon. They warned of venturing too close, of the lake's siren song, its allure both beautiful and deadly. Legend had it that the lake was cursed, haunted by the spirits of those who had drowned within its depths. They said the full moon awakened these spirits, drawing them to the surface, their mournful cries echoing through the stillness of the night. Some whispered of a creature, a guardian of the lake, a being of immense power and malevolence that lured unsuspecting victims to their watery graves. One full moon night, a group of friends, their curiosity outweighing their fear, decided to venture to the lake. They were young, filled with the arrogance of youth, convinced that the stories were nothing more than folklore, meant to scare children. They arrived at the lake as the moon reached its zenith, bathing the water in an ethereal silver light. A hush fell over the group as they approached the shore, the air thick with an unnatural stillness. The lake was eerily calm, its surface a perfect mirror reflecting the moon's pale glow. A light mist hung over the water, obscuring the far shore, giving the lake an otherworldly, dreamlike quality. One of the friends, a young woman named Anya, stepped forward, drawn to the lake's hypnotic beauty. She reached out, her fingers brushing the water's surface, a shiver running down her spine as she felt an unnatural chill. Suddenly, the stillness was shattered. A blood-curdling scream pierced the night, followed by a chorus of frantic shouts. As the last embers of our campfire fade, and the shadows of the night grow long, remember these tales, dear viewer. Remember the chilling power of the full moon and the creatures that lurk in its eerie glow. But most importantly, remember that fear, like a shadow, grows larger in the darkness. So keep a light burning bright and never underestimate the power of a good story to send shivers down your spine. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of darkness. Sleep well, dear viewers, and sweet dreams, or should I say nightmares. If you enjoyed these tales of terror and dare to delve deeper into the abyss, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more such horror content.